anyway, about this band concert, then maybe you can share what you remember, and I'll tell you what I remember because I saw it from a observer standpoint.
It was, you should see it. It was wonderful. There were a lot of band students and orchestra students and stuff.
Seems like a concert is more than just where there are a bunch of band students and orchestra students.
Yeah. Maybe if you were seeing it from a VIP standpoint, you'd see what I see.
Okay. Well, why don't you think of the memories that you had about the band concert?
Well, I think now that it was a great way to celebrate Christmas.
Okay, so it was a Christmas concert.
Right.
Maybe you remember some of the pieces that you played.
I do. And I'm pretty sure being what I am, I felt pretty scared being up there in front of other people.
Oh, okay. So you remember feeling scared?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I was. It always happens.
Okay. Well, it's perfectly natural to be nervous in front of that many people. That's for sure.
That may have been. I don't know. I'll say that's probably partly the cause that I didn't play right. Because you know how it feels. You just sit. You're just so nervous. You probably think more about the people around you. People watching you, and how many numbers there are.
Yeah, that's true.
Then pay attention to the piece you're playing.
It can be kind of distracting. So you said that you remembered the pieces that you played.
Right. We played a Jolly Old St. Nicholas. And something about some kind of United Kingdom-ish carol.
Okay. Was it like Old English carol or something? Or?
Yeah. Traditional English.
Oh, okay.
Christmas carol. I don't know what it's called though. Something about a king and a feast.
Oh. Huh. Yeah, I can't remember what I remember that one. Oh, good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. Okay.
And then there was, I think there was just one more. It was a holiday sample, I think.
Yeah, I remember that too. That's the one you played the bells on.
I was playing. They didn't introduce the drums to the other concert came up.
Oh, right. So you did the drums later. The other concert was really neat. I thought you played all kinds of different instruments on that one.
Yeah, they had a switching.
Yeah.
Like one song. Like they had me on bells for Creepy Crawlies. And then for the funk songs they had me on bass drum. I think, didn't they?
Something like that. Yeah, I remember.
And they played a race song too for the football.
Yeah, that's neat. I just remember how crowded it was at those concerts. It's hard to find a seat. Well, especially at the first one because they combined, the band and the orchestra and the choir, and so we all had to compete with the other parents, and we almost didn't even have a place to sit down.
Oh no, I don't know why they do that.
Well, they didn't do it the second time. Then they realized that there were going to be so many parents that they didn't want to combine it next time.
Yeah, well, I wonder why they, I just wonder why they combined it the first time.
I don't know.
I mean, it's probably pretty easy to guess how many a guess of how many parents would be pretty easy if we knew how many parents there were per.
That's true.
Just by assuming that only the parents,
at least the parents would come. They should have been able to estimate the number of people a lot better. Yeah, that's true.
And plus maybe add 2 for grandparents.
Well, I remember them saying that they didn't anticipate that level of support, but now that they knew, that they were going to do things differently next time. If like Olivia was playing drums, and she missed a certain number of notes, and she would make the whole band fail.
See, here's the part I don't get. Why does the whole band fail the song if one instrument fails?
Well, that's a good question. It's because if the whole band isn't performing at a certain level, then the song is not going to sound good. If you have a really good drummer and a really good guitar player and a really good bass player, but the singer is really bad, it's not going to matter how good the other players are. The band's going to sound bad.
I wonder why they couldn't just make the failing, I don't know, based on an average.
Well, they do.
On average, like if the average number of notes for the vocal is like 50, and the drums 75, but the guitar is 1. That doesn't mean that the guitar has to make the band fail the song. They could just average it out, not count it.
It sounds to me like you're trying to blame the game.
I'm just saying,
instead of taking responsibility of not singing the right notes. Tatiana, it sounds to me like you're trying to blame how the game is set up instead of taking responsibility for not singing the right notes.
Let me see how you like it. I don't know. But still, it kind of would be easier. How good you are depended on.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about
the average notes hit by all the players.
Yeah, okay, fine. But we're talking about taking responsibility for your contribution.
All right.
So, I don't think you were doing that last night, though. I think
it's partly the, who do you think it was? Whose fault do you think it was?
Well, it depended on the song, I think. Sometimes the drum made a lot of mistakes. Sometimes the guitar made a lot of mistakes. Sometimes the singer made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to be outside right now watching Amelia watching Amelia try to ride her bike without training wheels. That's pretty exciting.
Maybe so.
Well, let's go ahead and stop this and we'll go out and watch.
Yeah. One thing. Promise me no one else is going to be out there.
Oh, that's right. Because you don't have any pants on.
Yeah.
Tell you what. Let's both go upstairs and get some clothes on and we'll go down.
Training wheels are off.
Oh, training wheels are off. Okay,
Stop it.
let's go.